They told her, "Your daughter will never walk again." The best doctors, the most expensive treatments, nothing worked. Every night, a billionaire mother watched her little girl sit in a wheelchair, staring out the window, dreaming of running again. And no amount of money could fix that pain. Desperate and out of hope, she walked into a small leaking garage and met a poor mechanic with oil-stained hands. He looked at her and said, "I can't cure her, but I can try." Months later, the girl stood up for the first time. Her legs shook, the room went silent, and she took a step and another. The mother fell to her knees, crying uncontrollably as her daughter whispered, "Mom, I'm walking." This isn't a story about money, Dot. It's about a miracle built by heart, hope, and a man who refused to give up. The rain fell steadily over Manhattan, washing the glass towers in silver streaks. From the penthouse window of the Carter residence, Eleanor Carter watched the city blur into shadows. She held a porcelain cup of untouched tea, her fingers trembling not from the cold, but from the weight she carried every single day. Behind her, the room was quiet except for the soft hum of medical equipment. On a wide hospital-style bed near the window sat her daughter, Lily Carter. She was 12 years old, with chestnut hair tied in a loose braid and eyes that held more wisdom than most adults ever gained. Her legs lay still beneath a light blanket. They always did. "Mom," Lily said gently, breaking the silence. "You're thinking again." Eleanor turned and forced a smile. "Just watching the rain, sweetheart." But Lily knew better. She always did. Lily had been paralyzed from the waist down since she was 6. After a devastating car accident that killed her father, billionaire entrepreneur Jonathan Carter. Money had saved many things in Eleanor's life, but it had never saved her child. The best doctors, the most advanced hospitals, experimental treatments in Switzerland, Germany, Japan. Millions spent. Hope promised. Hope shattered. Every specialist said the same thing in different words. Permanent damage. No cure. Eleanor had learned to smile through it. Learned to be strong. Learned to cry only when Lily was asleep. What she hadn't learned was how to accept a miracle would never come. Across the city, far from glass towers and private elevators, lived a man named Daniel Reyes. Daniel was a mechanic in his early 40s, with oil-stained hands and a small garage squeezed between a laundromat and a closed-down diner in Queens. His garage roof leaked when it rained, and half his tools were older than he was. But he fixed things others couldn't, and he did it honestly. People trusted Daniel. Not because he was cheap, but because he cared. Years ago, Daniel's younger sister, Sophia, had lost the use of her legs after a construction accident. Their family couldn't afford expensive treatments. Daniel had watched her grow bitter, trapped in a wheelchair, her dreams fading one by one. He couldn't save her legs, but he refused to let her stop living. Using scraps, gears, and old electronics, Daniel built small devices to make her life easier. Custom braces, motorized supports, improved wheel locks. He taught himself mechanics beyond cars, biomechanics, robotics, engineering from old books and free online videos at night after work. When Sophia passed away from illness years later, Daniel didn't stop building. He kept learning, because somewhere inside him lived a stubborn belief. One day, something I build will matter. The first time Eleanor Carter walked into Daniel's garage, Daniel thought she was lost. Her heels clicked awkwardly on the oil-stained floor. A bodyguard hovered near the door, scanning the room. Eleanor wore sunglasses despite the rain, her posture stiff with exhaustion rather than arrogance. "Can I help you?" Daniel asked, wiping his hands on a rag. Asterisk, she removed her glasses, revealing red-rimmed eyes. Asterisk, my driver said you fix things others can't, she said. Asterisk, Daniel glanced around his cluttered garage. I try. Asterisk, Eleanor hesitated, then spoke quietly. I'm not here about a car. That got his attention. She explained everything Lily, the accident, the paralysis, the endless dead ends. She didn't mention her wealth at first, but Daniel recognized her name when she finally did. Asterisk, I'm not asking for false hope, Eleanor said, her voice cracking. Someone told me you build things, devices, custom work. Daniel listened without interrupting. When she finished, he sighed. Asterisk, I'm not a doctor, he said honestly. And I won't pretend I can cure paralysis. Eleanor nodded, already bracing for disappointment. But Daniel continued slowly. Sometimes the problem isn't the nerves alone. Sometimes it's the support system around them. She looked up. What do you mean? Asterisk, I've been working on a joint-assisted mobility system, he said. External, adjustable. It doesn't heal nerves, but it helps muscles move where signals are weak or absent. It's experimental and risky. Eleanor's heart pounded. Could it help her walk? Asterisk, Daniel met her eyes. I don't know. But I know this, if there's even a chance, I'd want someone to try for my sister. Tears welled in Eleanor's eyes. How much? She whispered. Asterisk, Daniel shook his head. I won't take your money. Asterisk, she stared at him, stunned. Why? Asterisk, because miracles shouldn't belong only to the rich, he said quietly. Lily met Daniel a week later. She liked him immediately. Asterisk, he didn't speak to her like she was fragile. He asked about her favorite music, her favorite superhero, what she missed the most about walking. Asterisk, running. Lily said without hesitation. I miss running toward my mom. Daniel swallowed hard. He spent months working day and night, refusing Eleanor's offers to move him to a high-tech lab. He trusted his garage, trusted his hands. Asterisk, the device he built was unlike anything. Eleanor had seen lightweight metal braces fitted around Lily's legs, connected to a compact joint system powered by micromotors and responsive sensors. It wasn't bulky. It wasn't flashy. It was human. Every piece was customized. Every movement tested. Every adjustment made with care. Asterisk, doctors warned Eleanor not to hope. Daniel warned her too, but Lily smiled every time he walked in. The day of the first test arrived quietly. Asterisk, no press. No cameras. Just Eleanor, Lily, Daniel, and a physical therapist. Daniel insisted on bringing asterisk. Lily sat on the edge of the parallel bars, braces secured, her hands gripping the rails. Eleanor stood behind her, heart pounding so loudly she could hear it. Asterisk, Daniel knelt, making final adjustments. Asterisk, if it doesn't work, Lily said softly. Thank you for trying. Asterisk, Daniel looked up at her, eyes shining. You're braver than anyone I know. He nodded to the therapist. Okay, Lily, the therapist said gently. When you're ready. Lily took a breath. And then something happened. Her right leg moved, not dragged, not lifted by someone else. Moved. Asterisk, Eleanor gasped, covering her mouth. Asterisk, Mom, Lily whispered, voice shaking. I felt that. Daniel's hands trembled. Again, he said softly. Lily shifted her weight. Her left leg followed. One step, then another. Asterisk, Eleanor collapsed to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. Asterisk, my baby, my baby. Lily took 3 more steps. Then her knees buckled, and she fell forward. Daniel caught her instantly. But Lily was laughing. Asterisk, I walked, she cried. Mom, I walked. Asterisk, Eleanor held her daughter and wept, not quiet tears, not controlled ones, but the kind that come after years of silent suffering finally break. Asterisk Daniel turned away, wiping his eyes with his sleeve. News spread despite Eleanor's efforts to keep it private. But this time, she didn't stop it. Asterisk instead, she stood beside Daniel at a small press conference, not in a penthouse, but in his garage. Asterisk, this man didn't just give my daughter movement, Eleanor said, voice breaking. He gave her dignity. He gave her hope. Reporters asked Daniel why he refused millions in offers. He answered simply, because I already got paid. I got to see a child stand. Asterisk Eleanor later set up a foundation, not in her name, but in Daniel's sister's name to fund mobility research for children who couldn't afford it. Asterisk, Daniel kept his garage. Asterisk Lily kept walking slowly, carefully, but proudly. Asterisk in every morning. When Lily took her steps toward her mother, Eleanor cried not from pain anymore, but from gratitude. Asterisk, because sometimes miracles don't come from billion-dollar labs. Asterisk sometimes. They come from a poor mechanic with oil-stained hands and a heart that never gave up.